The Niagara Foundation presents its 2011 activities. Niagara Forums. The Niagara Forums are designed to cultivate friendship, celebrate diversity, strengthen civic dialogue, and deepen intercultural awareness and understanding among the many diverse communities in the greater Chicago area. These forums include the morning conversations, luncheon forums, lecture series, world forums, and the leadership series. They provide an opportunity to discuss issues important to Chicago and the world while building lasting relationships between members of the community. Some of the distinguished speakers at our 2011 Niagara Forums include the Honorable Fatih Yildiz, Consul General of Turkey, the Honorable Graham Paul, Consul General of France, the Honorable George Ryu, Consul General of Canada, the Honorable Robert Dixon, Consul General of the United Kingdom, the Honorable Yang Guoqing, Consul General of China, the Honorable Bakhtibek Abdrisayev, former Ambassador of Kyrgyzstan to the United States, Morton Shapiro, President, Northwestern University, Clark Davis, Vice Chairman, HOK, the Honorable Susanna Mendoza, Clerk, City of Chicago, the Honorable David Orr, Clerk, Cook County, the Honorable Dan Lipinski, U.S. Representative for Illinois' 3rd District, the Honorable Mike Quigley, U.S. Representative for Illinois' 5th District, Kerim Beljet, President and Chief Executive Editor of Turkish Review, Dan Schmidt, President and CEO of WTTW Channel 11, Torre Malatia, President and CEO of Chicago Public Media, George Reed, Executive Director of the Illinois Board of Higher Education, Robert Pape, Professor of the University of Chicago, Sharif Basyouni, Professor DePaul University, Catherine Branning, Author, Christine Wiseman, President of St. Xavier University, Antonio Riley, Midwest Regional Administrator of U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Harry Gutman, Director, KPMG Tax Governance Institute, Larry Langdon, Partner, Mayor Brown, Kurt Meyer, Senior Advisor to the Chief of Appeals, IRS, Donna Gaines, President and CEO, Alliance of Business Leaders and Entrepreneurs, Gloria Castillo, President, Chicago United. Social responsibility. The Niagara Community Projects team organized many programs to serve those in need in our local communities. The team continued to apply their efforts on our Meals for the Homeless project. Working in cooperation with food vendors and local churches, hot meals were distributed to low-income and impoverished Chicagoans. Charity bazaars to raise scholarships for students, intergenerational nursing home visits, and service projects for women's shelters and orphanages gave Niagara Foundation volunteers an opportunity to be responsible citizens by lending a helping hand to others. Niagara Foundation held a reception in Springfield to raise funds to support the victims of the earthquake in the Van region in Turkey. The reception was held with the support of the Illinois House and Senate members, Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White, and the members of the Joint Legislative Task Force on Illinois-Turkish Relations. Both the Illinois House and Senate issued proclamations, as well as Secretary of State Jesse White and the Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, showing their sympathy for the victims. Special events. The Niagara Foundation organized a reception in honor of Black History Month, featuring the Honorable Danny Davis, U.S. Representative for Illinois' 7th District, as the keynote speaker. The Foundation also hosted the annual Intercultural reception in Springfield. We celebrated our state's diversity with legislators and other Illinois state officials. The reception took place at the state capitol, where guests enjoyed Turkish food, music, and art. Patrons of the Springfield reception included Governor Pat Quinn, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Simon, Secretary of State Jesse White, Senate President John Cullerton, and Speaker of the House Michael Madigan. The reception was hosted by the Joint Legislative Task Force on Illinois-Turkish Relations, a bipartisan team of 22 legislators from the Illinois House and the Senate. Peace and Dialogue Awards Ceremony. Every year at the Peace and Dialogue Awards Ceremony, the Niagara Foundation recognizes individuals and organizations who have dedicated their time, energy, and leadership to the cause of dialogue, peace, mutual understanding, and community service in the greater Chicago area. In 2011, awards were presented in 4 different categories. Our Community Service Award was presented to the Honorable Lisa Madigan, Attorney General for the state of Illinois. Our Global Vision Award was presented to the Art Institute of Chicago. Our Fethullah Gulen Award was presented to the Reverend Dirk Fika, Executive Director of the Council for a Parliament of the World Religions. Anne Eleanor Roosevelt, Vice President of Global Corporate Citizenship at the Boeing Company, was awarded the Commitment Award. The event was co-chaired by the Honorable Jesse White, the Secretary of the State of Illinois, and the Master of Ceremonies was Rob Stafford from NBC5. The main sponsor of the awards ceremony was Comcast. Other sponsors were the Roosevelt University, DePaul University, Turkish American Chamber of Commerce, and the HOK. Intercultural and interfaith activities. The Niagara Foundation organized community friendship dinners with communities from different ethnic and faith backgrounds. We held dinners with Japanese, Korean, Pakistani, Bosnian, Greek, Jewish, and many other communities in the greater Chicago area. These dinners support the development of friendship based on understanding and respect among these diverse communities. The community friendship dinners were usually held at the cultural, academic, or worship centers of the various communities that participated. The Niagara Foundation Friendship and Dialogue Dinner, which usually takes place during the Muslim sacred month of Ramadan, is designed to encourage people of different religious backgrounds to break bread together. This year, the event took place at the Intercontinental Hotel in Chicago. Around 300 distinguished guests attended and represented many diverse faiths. The opening address was given by the Honorable Sheila Simon, Lieutenant Governor of Illinois. The guest speakers this year were Dr. Zahir Sahlul, Chairman of the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago; Martin Marty, Professor Emeritus of the University of Chicago; and Kifa Mustafa, Imam and Executive Director of the Mosque Foundation. Closing remarks were given by the Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives, Michael Madigan; Robert Grant, FBI Special Agent in charge in Chicago; and Bishop Demetrios of Mokisos, Chancellor of the Metropolis of Chicago Greek Orthodox Church. The dinner was moderated by Professor Paul Parker from Elmhurst College. Another important event is the Niagara Abrahamic Traditions Dinner, which is organized every year with the intention of strengthening friendship and understanding among the 3 Abrahamic traditions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In 2011, academicians from religious studies and theology departments from diverse colleges and universities in the greater Chicago area attended the dinner. This dinner was held at the Spertus Institute of Jewish Studies and featured keynote speakers Rabbi Andrea London of Beth Emet the Free Synagogue, Reverend Stanley Davis, Co-Executive Director, Council of Religious Leaders of Metropolitan Chicago, and Azam Nizamuddin, Attorney at Law, Adjunct Professor, Loyola University. The theme of the program was Perspectives on Abrahamic Traditions, Family Values, and the event was moderated by Aaron Cohen, Vice President of Communications at Jewish United Fund of Metropolitan Chicago. The prayers were made by Rabbi Asher Lopatin, Anshe Sholom B'nai Israel Congregation. The Study Turkiye Program. The program is a competitive curriculum development project for university and community college faculty, which includes a full-day workshop in February of every year and a 9-day trip to Turkey in June. The aim of the project is to provide the selected teachers with the resources necessary to develop Turkish studies modules for courses in the curricula at their respective institutions. The project concludes every November with presentations of their modules to an audience of experts in various areas of Turkish studies and pedagogy for evaluation and critical feedback. The 2011 program was moderated by Dr. Zinta Conrad, Advisory Board Member of the Niagara Foundation. Intercultural trips to Turkey. In 2011, the Niagara Foundation organized 17 intercultural trips to Turkey as yet another means of building bridges and strengthening friendships between East and West. Hailing from different religious and cultural backgrounds, we find common ground and learn to appreciate our differences through our travels in which we share the same buses, lodging, and dining table. The Chicagoans who participated in these trips were given the opportunity to meet new and, God willing, lifelong friends, as a way of even further strengthening our commitment to a global ethic of dialogue and mutual understanding. Among some of the friends who made this journey with us in 2011 were Anne Pramagiori, President and CEO of ComEd, Speaker of the House Michael Madigan, Congressman Dan Lipinski, Dan Schmidt, President and CEO of WTTW 11, Ambassador J.D. Bindenegal, Vice President of DePaul University, Professor Paul Green, Chairman of the City Club of Chicago, and members of Illinois state legislators, state and federal judges.